from ADC and declaration for Labour Party. Maybe all those defective from ADC should just compile everything in one paper and bring, so that we don't keep announcing. But I think ADC is dead.
So imagine you were trying to build this massive state-of-the-art skyscraper, right?
Oh, man.
But before the foundation is even poured, the lead architects start suing each other over the blueprints.
Yikes.
Yeah, and then the entire construction crew just, walks off the job entirely. We are exploring a massive political earthquake that is currently reshaping Nigerian politics. Specifically, we're looking at the really rapid structural collapse of the African Democratic Congress, or the ADC.
Right, and our roadmap for this today is a really detailed video analysis.
Exactly. And just to be totally clear right up front here, we are absolutely not taking sides or endorsing any political viewpoints today. We're strictly just imparting the claims and the structural analysis laid out in our source material.
Yeah, exactly. We are essentially doing a post-mortem on a political breakdown, trying to understand the mechanics of why a party dissolves and what that actually means for you, the voter, who gets caught in the rubble.
Right. So let's look at the collapse itself.
Yeah.
Because recently, the head of Nigeria's Senate, Godswill Akpabio, actually stood on the floor of the legislature and flat out declared ADC is dead.
Wow. Just like that.
Just like that. He said this while formally announcing that over 17 House representatives were defecting from the ADC to a rival party, the Nigerian Democratic Congress, or NDC.
Right, and the analysis points to just unending internal leadership disputes.
But here is what I really want to understand. Like, a major regional power broker named Kabir Marafa joined the ADC, and then he quit just 3 weeks later. Wait, how does internal friction cause a heavyweight like that to flee almost immediately?
Well, it really comes down to the mechanics of litigation. Like, when a political party's leadership factions are constantly taking each other to court, judges issue injunctions.
Okay.
And those injunctions can freeze party bank accounts. It can literally block the legal registration of candidates.
Oh, wow. So you're just totally stuck.
Exactly. If you are a politician like Marafa, you need a functional vehicle to run a campaign. I mean, you cannot print flyers or hold rallies or even guarantee your name will be on the ballot if your party's legal status is completely paralyzed.
So they just cut their losses and jump to a stable platform.
Yeah, they really have no choice.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, you can't fight a national election if you're too busy fighting your own co-chair in court.
Yeah.
So, driven away by this legal paralysis, these politicians are flocking to the NDC, and they are bringing intense voter energy with them.
Huge energy, yeah. Largely thanks to two key figures. First, you have Peter Obi, who has mobilized this incredibly passionate, highly organized youth demographic.
Yeah.
And second, there's Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, and his influence cannot be overstated here. He is the leader of the Kwankwasia movement.
Right, the Kwankwasia.
Yeah, this isn't just some casual voting bloc. It is a deeply loyal, highly structured populist movement in the Muslim North. Combining that northern populist machinery with Obi's southern youth appeal gives the NDC unprecedented momentum heading into the 2027 election against the ruling party, the APC.
Okay, wait, I actually have to challenge that idea of unprecedented momentum, though.
Oh, how's...
Well, having celebrity politicians on your roster is not the same thing as having the actual supply chain to deliver a victory.
That's true.
Because the analysis specifically notes the ADC collapsed because it had no state governors and no real grassroots machinery. Like, it relied entirely on big names. So isn't the NDC walking into the exact same trap?
Ah, I see what you mean.
Right, because they have star power, sure. But if this turns the 2027 election into this brutal, high-stakes binary choice between the ruling APC and the new NDC, ordinary voters might just be backing another hollow structure.
That is a very sharp pushback. Because, yeah, a charismatic candidate gets people to the rallies, but local ward chairs and state governors are the ones who actually protect the ballots.
Exactly. They get out the vote on election day.
Right. And without that deep structural root system, a party is incredibly fragile. And that fragility actually brings us to the most anxiety-inducing part of this entire analysis, which is the new Electoral Act.
Yes. This is where the story gets genuinely terrifying for anyone who cares about democratic integrity. Because even if the NDC builds that grassroots machinery, the big question is, will the system actually allow those votes to count?
And the analysis highlights some deeply concerning claims about the legal framework of these upcoming elections. It alleges the new Electoral Act contains specific rigging clauses.
Rigging clauses. Wait, like what?
We aren't just talking about broken voting machines here. We are talking about legal loopholes. There's vague language that actually permits officials to bypass electronic vote transmission entirely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they can revert to manual counting if they simply claim there is a technical glitch.
Which is the ultimate backdoor. I mean, that allows vote tallies to be legally moved into the dark where numbers can be altered away from public scrutiny.
Precisely.
For you, watching this unfold, it completely breaks the social contract. It gives citizens this false hope of a free election while legally baking in the tools to override their choice. I mean, why would you ever stand in the hot sun for 6 hours to vote if you know a quote-unquote glitch can legally erase your voice?
Exactly. It destroys voter trust and it severely suppresses future turnout. This entire situation is just a stark lesson in how when political leaders prioritize infighting and legal battles over building transparent, reliable democratic structures well, the public pays the ultimate price.
It really is a masterclass in structural failure. So as you go about your day, think about this. If a political party can just vanish into thin air the moment its charismatic leaders walk out the door, are citizens ever really voting for a shared long-term platform, or are they just participating in a cult of personality?